So let's discuss ascension and the God delusion. Or let's put it another way. How did God create God's self? This is the way to become God. Okay. In existence a long time ago, beings were getting quite bored. And some of them noticed an interesting thing. No matter what they do, there was no consequence. There was no, although a belief existed of a God or a creator, nobody ever interfered. Beings existed as races and as groups of interest and traveled the universe. And they were born and they died. It's like very much similar to now. So, a fascinating idea came about. It's like a light bulb that went on in a way. That noticed an interesting thing, that in a way it would be possible to exist forever. But what you have to do to exist forever, that means also to control everything forever, would be that you have to divert everything to yourself, all power. Because if you have all power, you can also direct your own existence. To do that, a fascinating thing was done. A fascinating consideration. What was being noticed was a fascinating occurrence in the universe, where all the planets in the universes were in a way dimensional, meaning call it multidimensional. It was in a way existent similarly to what you would now experience as how you see pictures in the mind. It was like a mind universe. But something was happening. It was becoming matter. What is matter? Matter is a relationship between yourself, space, that which is existing, and how it moves, time. That was becoming relative, real, responding to the influence, the input you put into it. That means this, what was becoming real, was programmable. You can give it an input and it'll give you an output. And if you control the input, you control the output. Obviously what was the fascinating difficulty was everybody is going to find this out and understand that the input equals the output. How do you make sure that nobody finds out that the input equals the output? You place them into a reality that is not part of these 3 points: self, space and time. You create a new reality for them, a 4th dimension. You create for them a heaven. You create for them a place to go to where they actually, in going that, which is like ascending, they ascend their Ra somewhere. In doing that, they are actually recreating them into an idea, existing as if they're all powerful, as if they're God, while they're not. While you, that is controlling all of that, you're God. because you're actually controlling everyone. How do you do that? Is you create a system that mimics matter, the mind. It is a reflection. And that reflection has an interesting point. It is the reverse. If you look at it, it's like looking in a mirror. Everything is where the one side is the opposite of, you have left and right. Left becomes right and right becomes left. So it's a complete reversal of everything that exists as a projection within which you create yourself. How is that then done? It's fascinating, because when a child is born in this reality, the child do not have a self personified in the mind. That doesn't yet exist. The child is actually here in space and time. Real, powerful, pure. What happens then? A personality, an idea is created within which the child encompasses themselves, until all that exists as the human here is just a mind reflection of themselves. Then the mind becomes the reality they are trying to master. How to master that is fascinating, because within this whole process it'll go through an apparent stage of evolution. You will, as you move through your reality, become dissatisfied with what you're experiencing. Then you'll start searching for an alternative. And in that search, it's like already placed in you as a program. You'll go to the next stage. You'll then move from believing mom and dad to believing in God and the religion. Then when you're dissatisfied with that, you'll start believing in yourself as the reflection as God, which is like ascension. It's just a short view of your progression, which everybody eventually take. And each of those things will be equated to time. Either a coming again, or a new age, or some form of time-related construct. Now, what did the programmers of the input realize? They realized that they could divert all the creative power of every single being into a system and fuel that system. All they have to make sure of is they never step into that system, because they'll lose themselves. So therefore they created what you would call today heaven. From there, they controlled the input of every being born. How did they do that? By seeding it. They also seeded the whole reality as nature. What is a seed? A seed is that which contained the information of that which it would become, isn't it? So if you take the seed of a flower, you can look at the seed, and by the knowledge of the seed, you can say, this seed is this flower, because in the seed is contained the information, the program that will bring forth this flower. That program is DNA as a general description. Obviously, there's a lot more about how it works in terms of its construct, chromosomes, and you name it, the whole story.